Let me open my presentation.
Yes, Mario, don't forget to have your camera on.
Okay.
Great. Let's start. You can see.
Do we have to be sharing our screen?
Yes, let me give you the chance to share your screen. Okay. In a moment. Okay, Mario, now you are permitted to share your screen. Let me know when you're ready.
Uh, okay. Can you see my
Yes, I can watch
presentation?
it. Let's go.
Okay. Well, um, I think I had to talk about China. What if I'm wrong? I can change it.
No, it's okay. Let's go.
Well, now for the Chinese gastronomy, well, a Chinese meal is consisted of two parts: the staple food, normally made of rice, noodles, or steamed buns, and Thai, that is vegetables and meat dishes. And in a Chinese meal, everyone will have their own rice bowl. However, the accompanying dishes will be served in communal plates and shared by all people. So, well, the Chinese gastronomy consists of cold dishes, hot dishes, soups, and congis, staple food, and xiaoxi. Now going to the religion. The Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism are considered the three pillars of ancient Chinese society. As philosophies and religions, they not only influence spirituality, but also govern science, the arts, and social structure. Though their specific beliefs and teachings have occasionally been at odds with each other, there has been much room for the overlap. So instead of one tradition taking over and pushing the others out, the three philosophies have influenced the society alongside each other, changed each other, and at the times blended together. Now going to the Chinese music. Well, Chinese music is the art of form of organized vocal and instrumental sounds that developed in China. It's one of the oldest and most highly developed of all known musical systems, and the Chinese music history must be approached with a certain sense of awe. Indeed, any survey evokes the music of a buried, still active civilization whose archaeological resources go back to 3000 before Christ and whose own extensive written documents refer to countless forms of music, not only in connection with folk festivals and religious events, but also in the courts of hundreds of emperors and princes in dozens of provinces, dynasties, and periods. Now, your celebrations, I enlisted the ones that were most important for the Chinese festivities. So they are the Dongxi Festival that is on the 21st of December, the Chinese New Year Festival that will be, well, that was on the 12th of February, the Xianxi Festival that was on 26th of February, the Qingming Festival on 4th of April, the Labor Day, 1st of May, the Danwu Festival on 4th of June, the Guanxi Festival on 4th of August, the Hungry Ghost Festival on 22nd August, the Mid-Autumn Festival in 21st of September, the National Day of China in 1st of October, and the Chongbiang Festival in the 14th of October. Now, for the roles of men and women, well, I took them from the past book because I found them pretty interesting. So the traditional Confucian culture in China has strict doctrines linking in unequal gender stratification and distribution of power and resources by its core of three obedience, the Sankong, and particularly for women, namely women subordinate to men in every stage of life, like for daughters to their fathers, wives to their husbands, and in widowhood to their sons. Female were not allowed to go out to school, but were expected to stay home learning skills of housework to raise family after getting married. And a woman should always be modest and submissive in manner. Otherwise, it could damage the reputation of her family, and the man was expected to be responsible and gentlemanlike. Now, for the dress codes, China has different dress codes from their countries. Well, visitors should better follow some dressing rules to wear suitably in certain occasions. As we know, the Westerns are particularly about clothes wearing. They wear different clothes in different occasions. These occasions can be specified and include wedding, party, church, holiday, business, office, and recreation, and so on. Chinese people pay much attention to their set. As China is a very traditional Oriental nation, it attaches much importance on etiquettes. Take dress wearing for an example. They wear, they think, so to respect each other and esteem themselves, they should wear decent dresses. So it's infrequent to see Chinese girls in the very low dress in public. Wearing like that is a great challenge for them indeed. Now, the family relationships. The Chinese have something called kinship system, where it's among the most complicated of all kinship systems. It maintains a separate designation for almost everyone of a person's kind based on their generation, their lineage, their relative age, and their gender. In the Chinese kinship system, maternal and paternal lineages are distinguished. For example, a mother's brother and a father's brother have different terms. The relative age of a sibling relation is considered, for example, a father, a father's young brother has a different terminology than his older brother. Then the gender of the relative is distinguished as in English, and the generation from ego is indicated like in English. Now the rules and behavior. The Chinese people prefer modesty and keeping in low profile, both in regard to their own achievements and status, as well as their interactions with others. Traditionally, in the course of polite conversation, Chinese people will downplay their own positions and achievements while emphasizing those of others. Additionally, within society, family, work, and their own social circles, the average Chinese people will generally not attempt to make waves or to make themselves stand out overtly when compared to others. And that's all.
All right, Mario. Thank you very much. I think it was a nice presentation. Well, especially because, well, something that really caught my attention was the beginning of the presentation when you talked about food. It's very interesting because I didn't know that in a Chinese table, each person has got their own rice, and then the other complementary dishes are like in the center of the table. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's not like here in our country, right? Like every person has got their portion. And something else that maybe you didn't mention about religion in China. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, students, that because of the long regime of communism, many people in China, they have no religion. Yeah. And the ones who like declare themselves from the Buddhist or Confucianist religion, it's because they are old people. And obviously, let me tell you that they have got a different calendar in comparison to us because they celebrate New Year. Is it on February or March? Do you remember?
The new year is in February.
Yeah, for them it's in February. So they have got these different things in comparison to our country. Thank you very much, Mario. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You did it so fine. And well, let's go on to another person. And let me
Hi,
see.
teacher.
Hello, how are you, Dulce? Are you ready or what?
I'm ready. Just have some issues with my computer.
Okay. What do you say, Daniel? Is it okay if Dulce goes next? It's because she asked me first, but she wasn't here in the class before. Is that okay
No,
for you?
teacher, no problem.
Yes. Okay, Dulce. So if you are ready, come on, have your camera on and get ready with
Yes.
your presentation, please.
Okay. If you let me.
Ah, yes. Sorry. I'm going to let you share. Give me a second.
Okay.
You are a co-host now. Come on, let's go.
You tell me if you can see my presentation, so I can start. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to talk about Cuba. You see them? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to talk about Cuba, and if you are wondering like how the life is there and what to expect if you travel there or you are planning to live there. So first, we have to know about the language. Cuba is a Caribbean country that is next to Quintana Roo. They speak Spanish as us, so that's not a big deal if you are trying to get there, because you are gonna understand almost everything, because in all countries we have different words. And for the second one is the religion. There, the 60% of the population are Catholic, but there are some few of them that have the Catholic religion with some hints of African religions, and even the 31% of the population are just processed African religion fully. And the next one is the music, as almost all new. Now, the Cuban music is so famous because the salsa, and they have also a lot of different rhythms there, like salsa, like boleros, that it's a ballad but in Spanish. The tribe, that it's a mix between rap and reggae, and of course jazz and salsa. Um, the celebrations. There are three celebrations that are very important. There is a lot, but I choose the most important three. That is in November, in January 1st and 2nd, they have the Triumph Day and the Victory Day, because they win the revolution and they are now a free country, if you can tell it. And that's on the first days of the year. And the middle of the year in July, they have carnival in Santiago de Cuba, and it's a carnival in 2 days, I think, in the weekend. And the last one is like the most important because it's the death anniversary of Che Guevara on October 8th, and it's very important as well. Going for the roles of women and men, I learned and I read that the 49% of the Congress are women, sorry, women, and but like all Latin countries, machismo is still alive. So even if women work, they are expected to take care of the children, to take care of the house, and clean and do the food. But the men, even if they work all day, they are like they can relax and take a beer with their friends and like not do anything else. That's normal there. For the dress code, there is not such a thing like a dress code, but because Cuba is a warm country, they are expected to you to wear light clothes or clothes that are from for cotton, and like there are from light colors and things like that. So you cannot get so hot in there. For the family relationships, like all Latin American households, like a traditional family, they are all together and their boundaries are very strong. So they even live all together from grandparents to the grandchildren, even the cousins and the aunts. They live maybe not in the same house, but near, so everyone can meet uh, whenever they want. And I think this is the last one. There are a few things that you should not say or do in Cuba. The first one is not to talk about politics, because even if you are against or you are okay with the communism, if you don't want to get in troubles, you better not talk about that in order to avoid like confrontation. And a thing that I didn't know is that it's illegal to take picture of soldiers there. You can get a fee or even go to jail if someone catch you doing that. So it's better not to take pictures of soldiers. But something that you can do is to tip, because the expenses to live there is high. So most of the people who work in restaurants or in hotels, their main income are tips. So it's nice to leave a tip. And yeah, and I think that's all. Yeah, and thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
Yes, okay, Dulce, I think your presentation was really nice. Especially I loved your slides. They look pretty cool. And well, talking about the information you said, I didn't know this about these African religions, but yes, it catches my attention because in this part of the Caribbean Sea, countries like Cuba, Haiti, and those ones, they still have these African religions. And also, the other thing that you said was very interesting. Yeah, I forgot to say it when the Chinese presentation was. Uh, in Cuba, they have an Independence Day and a Revolution Day, but in China it's different because China was never like colonized or conquered by any other country. So that's why in China they don't have like an Independence Day, but in Cuba they do. And the other thing that caught my attention was about politics. Yeah, you should be careful, everyone, if someday you go to Cuba, because it's not like proper to talk about politics. And the thing you said about representation of women, it's really nice. Um, in Mexico, we have already reached a similar percentage because the representation in Mexico it's almost the same in the deputies chamber and in the senatorship. It's 51-49, just like in Cuba. Thank you very much, Dulce. What a very nice presentation. Congratulations. Okay, so the next one in passing, I think it was Misael, because Dulce is going to help him to share the slides. So after them, I promise you'll be the next one, Daniel, right? So come on, Misael, who is going to help you with these slides? You said Dulce, right? Are you a graphic designer, Dulce, or what's going on?
Not really. My brother is the one who is that, so he's teach me some tips to how to do slides and look nice. But I'm not a no, I'm not doing that.
Okay, yes. Okay, Misael, are you ready or what's going on? So, if not,
Yes,
come on, have your camera on, my friend. Okay, Dulce is sharing her screen. But it's missing, Misael, for you to have your camera on. Please have it on as soon as possible. Or you will talk about Nigeria. Okay, Misael. Yes, I can watch you now. Let's go. I think your microphone is not on. Turn it on, Misael.
sorry, teacher. I
No.
talk with the microphone silent. Uh, Hello, partners and teacher. I'm going to talk about Nigeria. The language. The English is the official language of Nigeria, but Nigeria has around 200 languages, in which can I mention the Hausa, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Fulfulde, the Kanuri, the Ijao, Urhobo, Efik, Edo, Tiv, Ibio, Igala, Iberia, Nup, etc. But the official is the language, the English. Uh, the food. The Nigerian gastronomy is a rich blend of traditional African carbohydrates such as nyame and yuca, as well as vegetable soups made from native leafy greens. And some typical dishes are the Nigerian meat spice, that is the image of the top left, and the Nigerian fried rice. I don't know, no, I confused. The the Nigerian meat pies are the image from the left that is in the, how do you say abajo?
Down,
How?
down.
Down. And in the top are the Nigerian fried rice and the rich beef and vegetable stew. The religion in Nigeria, you have the freedom to choose the religion you want, but it has a conflict in the country between Islamic and Christian religion. That's the big problem that the country has. But around the 50% of the population are Islamic and the 40% are Christian, uh, and the 3% practice another religion.
Yeah.
The music, the Nigerian music includes many kinds of African folkloric and traditional music. Some popular genres of the country are the Apala, the Fuji, the Julu, the Yopop, the Hausa, and other ones. And the creation of these genres is the combination of American hip hop and Jamaican reggae. And the main instruments used in the genres are the percussion and wind instruments, such as the gong gong drum, the kora, that is like a harpa, and the kakaki, that is like a float. The celebrations, all the festivities and celebration of the country have a lot to do with the Islamic religions. All of them are sacred and respected, and I mentioned four. First is the Fest of the Breaking of the Fast, that is celebrated on May 13. The celebration of the sacrifice, that's celebrated on July 20. The Independence Day, that is celebrated on October 1st, and the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, that is celebrated on October 19. The roles of men and women. Oof. In Nigeria, it has a big problem, that is the machismo. Oh no, the machismo is one of the problems that the country hasn't resolved around the past go. And what caused that? Okay, the women prohibits them to doing such as basic things like going out to the streets, driving, and it has to be in your house all the time. And the man can do whatever he wants. The dress code. The Nigerian women's garments are a buba, a blouse with a long sleeves, a narrower skirts, and a kaba, which is a one piece of dress. And the Nigerian men's clothing consists of a buba, a pants like sokoto, a rao, which is a round of cap cut to fit off the head, or an aberiaga, which is another type of hat. The family relationships. Okay, the families in Nigeria are united and large during first years, but the problem that he has is that the families that are poverty, uh, the dads, when the daughters turn around 15 years, uh, the things that he do is selling or married with another person to counteract the economic burden. And as the times goes by, the family bonds is broken. The problem is the poverty with the daughters. And rules and behaviors. I mentioned three, and I could say the only the right hand is used to it or passing or pass things. The left cannot be used. Another is the greeting between men and women is with a simple handshake. There is no physical contact most of the time. And when a man gives something to a woman, it must be said that it comes from a female relative, such as his sister, her mother, or his wife. I think that's about the religion. And that's all.
Oh, wow. I like very much this presentation because I didn't know many things you mentioned about Nigeria. Like, for example, well, let me tell you, students, in some other countries, well, here in Mexico, we use potato so much for cooking, but in some other countries, especially tropical countries like Cuba or Nigeria, they have got another kind of vegetable that is called yuca. I'm not so sure, but in English, I think we call it sweet potato. Yeah, but it tastes a little bit like potato. So most of their dishes are made of this vegetable. And another thing that really was interesting was these music genders that you mentioned. It was the yo pop, which is a fusion between pop and reggae. Never heard it, but I think it could be something interesting to know it. And obviously, the other thing, this is gonna be for everyone, students. In our chat, I typed the word chauvinism. Yes, that's the thing that you were mentioning previously. I'm gonna type what did you say? Yeah. The term for this kind of behavior when you think that a man is more than women, it's chauvinism, right? So for the other ones who are going to pass to present, please try to use this term for the upcoming presentations, right? I am really surprised about the fact that I thought that this kind of practice of selling your daughter was not like allowed in many countries, but I can see in many African countries it's like something very common. And as you said, the problem is the poverty, right? Because big families in Nigeria, they don't have enough money, and sometimes they have to sell their daughters in order to pay their debts and everything. And the last part, it was also really nice because there's no physical contact between people when they want to say hello or something. And it's important to know it, students, because the way to say hello has changed because of the pandemic. And before, you know that in Latin American countries, people are like warmer when they want to express themselves. But as you can see in Africa, it's not like that because they must keep their distance and stuff. Thank you very much, Misael, for your presentation. It was really nice. And Daniel was gonna be the next one. Sorry for all the time you waited, Daniel, but are you ready or what? Let me give
No
you
problem, teacher.
to
I'm ready.
share your screen. Give me a moment. I'm gonna make you a co-host so that you can share your screen, and don't forget to have your camera on. Afghanistan, what a complicated country.
Ready, teacher.
Let's go. Come on.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm going to talk about Afghanistan. Well, in language, it is a multilingual country in which most spoken language are Pashto and Dari. Oh, I forget something to show you. This is the flag of Afghanistan. As we can see, the main colors are black, red, and green. Other regional languages such as Uzbek, Turkmen, Balochi, Pasajaki, and Nurismani language are spoken by minority groups of the country. In religion, most of the Afghan population, 90.8, are believers. The most used religion is Islam, with 99.56% of people who profess it. In food, the most popular dishes in Afghanistan are asak, that are Kabul dumplings, Kabuli pulao, that is a rice dish, the lavash, that is thin bread with cheese or meat. There are the three majors of each food. Other food that is very popular here are the biryani banjan, that is yogurt covered with eggplant. Another famous food is the bolani, that is a vegetarian bread. Here in music, the classical musician from Afghanistan is called classic, which includes instrumental and vocal ragas and belly dancing, as well as tarana and ghazals. There are a image of the persons who play music. The celebrations. The most important celebrations are Nowruz, that is the traditional Afghan New Year, and the victory of the Muslim nation, that is celebrated in April 28th, that is the anniversary of the revolution. In other celebrations, we have the National Labor Day and the Day of Remembrance of the Martyrs and Disabled. This is May 4th. In another celebration, we have the victory of the Muslim nation. I have already mentioned this. In the roles of men and women, one of the most important characteristics to highlight in a family is that a successful marriage with many children is the main goal for a Afghan woman, which Afghan men worldly share. The dress codes in Afghanistan, men's wear hat and turban and a chapan, palero, and woman is defined by a two-pie suit consisting of baggy pants worn under a high neck, long sleeve tunic. The clothes are filled at the waist and extended to the ankles, with a straight skirt open on both sides to facilitate movement. Many women complete the outfit with a long, scarful, elegant drap over the shoulders. More elaborated and fine clothes are the suites adorned with golden threads and silk fabrics in various colors. And this is all, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Daniel. What a nice presentation. And well, some of the things that I found out in this presentation and the one from Nigeria, I can look at the outfit that they have got in Nigeria and Afghanistan. They are kind of similar, but as you can see in Africa, they are like a little bit more colorful. And another thing that I found out interesting because of what you said and Misael said, let me tell you, students, that little by little, this Islamic religion is going to become the most professed religion in the world. Let me tell you, in the last years and in the previous centuries, Christianism and Catholicism were like the most important religions. But now I was watching a video that in 20 years more, the Islam is going to be the top religion of the world. So this is like something we need to get used to see and to live much more because now more people from, well, especially from that side of the world that believe in this religion are going to start like expanding in the rest of countries. And as you can see in Africa now, the Islamic religion is becoming more important as the time passes, and I'm pretty sure that in the future it will be like the top uh, the first religion all over the world with more believers. Okay, then, thank you very much to Daniel. We are missing some people. We are still missing Ivan, Emilio, and Antonio. Emilio, do you want to be the next one to present or what?
Yeah, teacher, but my slides is going to help me with Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, okay, thank you, because I'm going to make him a co-host, Rodrigo.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Rodrigo, now you are a co-host.
Sí voy, profe. Listo.
It's about Japan. Well, Emilio, let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about this slides, teacher, because I don't remember what country have to present, and I present of Japan.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Emilio, and I'm going to present about Japan. Okay, Roy, the next, please. Thanks. First of all, I'm going to talk about the food because this is very interesting because Japan is known about his food. One of the biggest and most famous food is the sushi. That sushi is one of the best known Japanese foods around the world. Then was the sashimi that this is my favorite. That is another most that tried food in that country. The unagi, that is eel, that is a fish known by found mainly in the river. Then the tempura, the soba, the onigiri, the sakitori, and sujikaji. And that's the one of the biggest and most famous food on Japan. Okay, next, the religion. In Japan manifests primarily the Shinto and Buddhism, the two of main faiths, which Japanese people often practice simultaneously. According to the estimates, as many as 80 of the populace follow Shinto rituals to some degree, worshipping ancestors and spirits at domestic altars and public shrines. This is very interesting for me, and that's why I put this on religion, because I think that it's something like Mexico. There is not Catholicism, but they are they love the religion and they live his life and the daily life with the religion because they think a lot, and the religion is from his fathers, and the fathers of the grandfathers, and that's why the religion is one of the most important in Japan. It's like the politic. Then, well, how many people live in Japan? In Japan, they have 125 million people living in Japan. In Japan, it's increasing the people of live because a lot of people know that they have the best technology and they have a lot of work because they have the best companies of technology and they have to improve it in his improve his workers because they like to have a lot of Mexicans. That's something interesting because Japan like the how the Mexican works and they go a lot of Mexican on the year. Well, the most famous monuments in Japan, or the most famous and the monuments that I like more. They have the Tokyo Imperial Palace that it's like they have a lot of that because in Japanese cities they create a lot of because his culture and Mount Fuji, the Kinkakuji, Tokyo Skytree, Sensojai, Osaka Castle, Shiraka Wall, and the seven interesting facts of Mount Fuji. Because this is interesting for me because it's not like other countries because the house, like as you know, as you can see, are like have different structures because they are very traditional with the house that he create and the difference of other countries is that are very small and are very his cost is very high because the how do you say metro cuadrado, teacher?
The square meter.
The square meter is very expensive. It's like we can compare with like Dubai is not very different. I compare the price, and I think that in some places are very expensive in Japan. They're more expensive, the square meter. And the next, please, Rodri. Okay, my favorite part of Japan. One of my favorite parts of Japan is that it's a city that has a lot of colors. We have different types of like streets. There are some traditions, some are a lot technological. A fun fact is that they have a lot of games. They like a lot of the clock games. The but it's very expensive to have something that the Japan people like to play. Other thing that I like is that in Japan they like a lot of the anime or like Pokemon or something like that because they grow up and his culture is like growing with this type of characters and you can see it in all the places and it's all.
Okay, Emilio, thank you very much. Well, let me tell you, students, well, I think this is a very nice country, but I would like to tell you some facts that maybe you don't know so well. For example, just imagine why the square meter is very expensive in Japan. Just imagine Japan has got, as Emilio said, a population of 125 million people. Yes. And the size of Japan, it's even smaller than the state of Veracruz. Yeah. And Mexico has got 129 million people in a much bigger space. So now you can figure it out why to buy a house or any property in Japan is very expensive because they don't have too much space and everyone is like crowded over there. Another, let me tell you, uh, Japan is an island, so uh, there are lots of problems there in order to get food. That's why the Japanese diet is more based on fish. Yeah, because as Japan, it's an island. It's surrounded by the sea, so like most of their diet is based on fish because it's like the kind of food they can obtain easier, right? And also another thing that is not so cool, and because of the condition of Japan as an island, it's very complicated to get a lot of food. For example, here in Mexico, we have lots of advantages because we can like have lots of fruits and meat and a very extensive variety of vegetables, which in Japan is not possible because over there, believe it or not, the weather is really extreme. In summer and spring, it's very hot, while in autumn and winter, the weather is very cold. So that makes a little bit complicated to have some fruits and maybe more meat in Japan. And let me tell you, in order to finish with Japan, the amount of taxes that they pay in Japan, it's really high. Yeah, in Mexico we say that 16%, it's very high, but let me tell you, in Japan it's over 30% of taxes that you have to pay. So if you work, you can earn a lot of money, but 30% of your salary, it's designated to taxes. And there are taxes to, for example, having car, properties, buying electronics and stuff like that. They pay a lot of taxes. And let me tell you, it sounds like very cool, but the then the amount of taxes that you have to pay in Japan if you live there, it's very high. And that's the reason of why people in Japan, they work a lot, because in order to support themselves, they need to have a very good job, or maybe two if it's possible. So that's the thing I have to say about Japan. Thank you very much, Emilio. So we have Antonio, and after that we finish with you, Ivan. Hello, Antonio. Are you ready to be the next one? I think he left or something. So then we will have in his place, Ivan. Let me make you a co-host, Ivan, so that you can show your screen. What's up, Ivan? Are you ready or what?
Let me know if you can see my presentation.
Yes, I can watch it. Let's go.
Okay. Hi, classmates and teacher. Today, me, Ivan Valdez, going to talk about India. So let's get started. First, we're going to talk about the language. And on India exist 22 official languages, which the most spoken is the Hindi. And just a little percent of people speaks other languages. And also these people who speaks Hindi take the English as a second language. And as you can see, there's a very small list of all of that languages, but I'm going to say something here. People that are from very far and small towns usually speak these other languages. And when they go to the cities, they have problems to communicate with other people from the cities. And this is because they don't speak the same language. So basically, there's a problem in there between the same Indians because they don't speak the same language. Right? Going to continue. Now, we're going to talk about the religion. The Hinduism is the most followed religion on India. And I'm going to say that some facts about the Hinduism, and they don't eat beef or pork because they believe that the cows are a very important animal. And also, um, they believe in a supreme soul. So it is like two stages. And the first, when someone die, they enters into a cycle of rebirth. And people used to go the moksha, and the moksha is a like the goal. They want to achieve that. And when they achieve the moksha, moksha, um, they will end the cycle of rebirth, and they will enter into this supreme soul. You can see a graph of here, all the religions that are uh, followed in India. So that's all. Let's continue. Now we're going to talk about the food. And you may know that on India, they don't, because of the religion, they don't eat beef or pork. They usually eat other meat from goat and other animals. But uh, they are very, the dishes in India are very healthy because they uses vegetables and some species. So basically, they are considered as vegetarians. They don't eat anything that is related to cow or pork. And there's an example in there that is the matar paneer, and it is from the north of India. And if you want to illustrate yourself and imagine the dish, it is in here, and the first image, and it is basically some cheese with tomato sauce and some spice with some species. And the garam masala is a mix of species. Okay. Now let's continue with the music. On India exist two main traditions of music, and that's the Carnatic music and the Hindustani music. The difference between these two ones is that in the Carnatic music, they have an emphasis on the vocal music. So basically, there's more like vocal sounds. And in the Hindustani music, it is related more with the traditions. And you may see two images, and in the top one, we have a group of women that are performing some music, and they are playing the instrument that is the bina. The bina is like a large guitar, but it is from the south of India. And in the other image where we have the single woman holding an instrument, it is not the same instrument. It is a sitar. They may look very similar, but the difference is that in the sitar is played with the ragas, and the ragas are a ancient system of music, and they need to be played with that. It is a religion thing. And the other one, the Vinam, it was played by a ancient goddess. I don't remember the name, but it is on the uh, India mythology. So it is usual to see women playing these instruments because of that, because of the goddess. Now we're going to continue. Roles of men and women. Um, we're going to talk about first with the men, and men can have more levels of education, have more opportunity to study, and have a stable job, and also they maintain their families. I want to add a data here, and it is that men earns 25% more money than women, and also there's an inequality because parents often have a preference in boys than in girls. Now we are going to continue with the woman. Women have low levels of study. Women usually do domestic work. Uh, Women take care of raising their children and taking care of the house. And also I'm going to add that 48% of women reaches 5th grade of studies. And with that, we're going to continue. Dress codes. We're going to start with the men first. They usually wear cool and comfortable clothes. It is usual to see a man dressing traditional clothes, formal suits, and informal shirts, as me. And they have the liberty to wear what they want. They usually uses a hat and also a scarf, like in the image. Now, the woman, they need to wear conservative clothes as dresses or suits. Clothing should not reveal too much skin, especially legs. They avoid to wear leather clothes because it is considered offensive to the Indians who revere clothes. Now we're going to continue with family relationships. And it is usual that they have like the parents have the most of the control of their sons because they choose the career and also the couple that they are going to marry. Also, it is usual that in India, the families are very large, and because of that, they are usually very close. It is common to see the parents, the children's, the aunts, the cousins, and the grandmothers to live in the same house, and also living near in the same neighborhood. And what else? I think that's all. We have some facts in here. The oldest son becomes the head of the family when the father dies. And I'm going to add a data that I may add it in the roles of, but I'm going to say it. I didn't know, but when the woman gets married, they usually put a dot in their foreheads. And this is like a symbol, a signal to the other people that know that they have been married. That's all.
Wow,
Thank you for your attention.
that's so nice. I didn't know this. I was curious about knowing this fact about women, but yeah, now I understand why they got this done. And well, let me tell you something about the information I heard. It really catches my attention, and this is very interesting for you students because we need to know about other countries. And well, here you listen to what Ivan said. It's not allowed to eat pork and beef, students. So if someday you gotta go to India, please never dare to order anything related to these animals because it's an insult for them. And also watch out with your clothes because, as he said, if you want to wear leather clothes, it's not allowed. So watch out if your wallet or if your belt is made of these animals, you're gonna have some problems with people from this place. And you have just realized it, students, in Afghanistan, India, and Nigeria, yes, the kind of outfit they wear, it's really conservative for women. So if sometimes you complain that, oh, Mexico, it's a country that is very behind in everything, just take a look at Nigeria, Afghanistan, and India. Rules for women over there are even more strict than in Mexico. And as he said, they cannot let them show too much skin, like especially legs or nothing, because they are very conservative. And what else? What else? Here you can see it. Hindu religion is the most important, but guess what? The second one is Islam. And you saw in the graph that he presented, Catholic and Christian religion, it's like almost nothing, 2 or 3% in the graph. And yes, obviously, families in India, they are very big, and that's the reason why India is the second country with more population after China, right? The pictures you watch in the internet and in magazines, they are true because families are so big and they live together and they stay together as much as they can, right? Well, and just let me finish with this fact. Um, the second language spoken in India is English. And let me tell you, there is a very big tradition in India of call centers. So uh, they answer the phone of most of the most important countries. Like, for example, in the United States, it's very expensive to have a person answering the phone. So they send the call to India so that a person from India answers to you because it's cheaper to hire an Indian person than having an American person attending you. Well, Ivan, congratulations for this presentation. It was really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, students. Well, let me tell you something because we gotta go. Yeah. So I made a mistake, and next Monday we don't have classes, right? So the ones who were supposed to present on Monday, you have to present until Wednesday, right? So keep that in mind because I don't want you to text me on Monday, teacher, and the class and my presentation. Obviously, there's not going to be any presentation because we have Revolutions Day holiday, so we cannot have classes on that day. Yeah. So keep that in mind, please.